If you use CFOP or ZZ, then you should learn COLL, and let me tell you why. If you don't know what COLL is, it's during the last layer if you have the cross on top and your regular alg does not solve the corners, and you want to solve the corners because U-perms, H-perms, Z-perms are good, and you could also get a PLL skip. So instead use a different alg that can solve the corners for you. And then you tend to end up with a much better solve. Many algs that you learn for COLL may not be as good as your main alg. However, often they are very comparable. For example, here we have how you recognize this is you have two vertical bars here. And I think most people's main alg is this. But if you have two horizontal bars, then instead you can do F triple sexy move, F prime. Using COLL is a little bit of a trade-off since your PLL gets faster, but your OLL will get a little bit slower. So I'm going to talk about why I think that it's really worth it with some reasons that you may not have thought of before. Let me just address something first. Recognizing your COLL case by looking at the color patterns on the corners seems like it might take a little bit more time than you want it to, but actually it's going to get really fast as you practice it. You will probably be practicing this for every single one of your OLLs as you get much, much faster, because that will help your last layer a lot, which I will discuss some other time. But in terms of recognition, you should not be worried. It will come naturally and with practice. EPLLs are extremely easy to recognize from two sides. You don't need to do rotations on the cube to be able to recognize it as long as you know what to look for. So in this case, this is obviously a U-perm if you've seen enough U-perms in your life, because this one is adjacent to the colors next to it, and this one is opposite to the colors next to it. So you should probably know that the U-perm is a cycle this way, and the solved side is over here. And so let's look at some other angles. So from this angle, you have two adjacents, and the only time two adjacents could also show up is if you have a Z-perm. So in this case, this one's obviously a Z-perm because this one goes here and this one goes here. But then this other angle for the Z-perm is when it gets a little bit tricky which one's which. So for the Z-perm, you have this color that does not match the orange over here, and this green does not match the blue over here. So basically you have four different colors. These do not match the colors next to them. So that's how you know it's a Z-perm. To know it's a U-perm, there is one color that matches and green does not match blue. So on this side, orange is missing. But I think it's easier to just recognize that the reds are matching each other. So in that case, you will be able to tell with practice that the other edge that is not solved will be over here. And you can recognize that however you like, but the solved side will be over here, and you just need to find a way to remember that. Then this angle is pretty obvious, a solved side and a not solved side, and this angle is the same. So that addresses every angle of the U-perm. Now, the only thing left is the H-perm. Okay, so H-perm is pretty obvious. This is opposite stickers and this is opposite stickers. And I have just addressed how to two-sided recognize every single EPLL, and that was pretty easy. If you memorize those, your EPLL recognition will be so much faster than your recognition for every other PLL case. That's one reason why you should use COLL. So the probability of each case you can get as EPLL. So 8 out of 12 times you will get U-perm, and 2 out of 12 is a Z-perm, 1 is H-perm, and then the last 1 out of 12 is a PLL skip. So your chances of PLL skip just went up by a lot. That's pretty good. H-perms, Z-perms, and U-perms are easy to execute from multiple angles. For example, a U-perm from this angle, don't copy my finger tricks, they're probably wrong. And a U-perm from the backwards angle of the same case, let me just set up the case again. So from the back angle, it would look like this. And if you don't know these algs, you should probably go learn them. H-perm can be executed the same from any angle, and Z-perm can be executed from two angles. This decreases the amount of AUF you need to do. EPLLs are extremely, extremely fast, and pretty much faster than every other PLL. Maybe not like a J-perm, because I really like J-perms, but like a Z-perm, arguably the worst EPLL you can get. I have honestly messed up like 5 takes trying to do that because my hands are freezing right now. Okay, there we go. So honestly, they're so fast, and if you don't think you're very fast at them, then maybe you should just learn some better finger tricks like M2, being able to do that quickly and consistently, because I know some people struggle with that because M turns don't show up a lot in CFOP or ZZ. And for the RU perms, it might seem the RU U perms, it might seem like they're pretty straightforward, but the finger tricks can get a little bit complicated. Now, I don't actually use those ones, so I can't give you advice. You should probably go find a different video for it. But there are also MU U perms. I'm not going to recommend them, but I will say that like I use them and they are pretty fast. So like that, for example, and the reverse. So I hope I've been able to convince you to go learn COLL. When you see this as your PLL, it should make you smile, and smiles are good for you. So yeah, go learn COLL. If you haven't learned full OLL, then definitely go learn that first before COLL because it's going to help you out more than this will. Okay, so what if you get something like this? There's no cross on top. Should you try to force a cross on top, such as do this, or learn a special subset like VHLS that can insert the last slot and make the cross on top? Well, you shouldn't try to force the cross. If you get a cross, you can do COLL, but you can also do partial edge control, which I will talk about in a different video. But for now, if you don't know that, then you can just hope for a cross on top, and if you get it, and you use COLL. Just a note about Soon, people tend to not learn the COLLs for Soon because Soon itself is so fast, and there's really no point in doing like an inferior alg to get an EPLL when Soon is super, super fast and it's really hard to beat that. So yeah, just try to use Soon instead of the COLLs. It'll reduce the number of algs you need to learn. So I hope you give COLL a try. If you have any questions, such as how to recognize certain cases or what algs I use for certain cases, you can leave them in the comments, and I will see you next time.